want to talk a little bit about being grateful. I was just I was editing my video this morning of what I did at the farm yesterday. And as a young person, I thought a lot of things about my future. One, that I couldn't like girls. That was like number one on my list was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to marry a man. I'm going to have to try to be straight. I didn't have a word for it, but I knew that I couldn't like girls. I also thought that I couldn't do boy things growing up. Like, I knew it was okay as a tomboy. When I was a tomboy, as a child, it's very acceptable to, and people always go to climbing trees. I was scared of heights. I didn't climb a lot of trees. But I thought that I couldn't do a lot of the girl thing, or the boy things as a girl once I outgrew. Like, I knew that I was okay while I was young, because tomboys are allowed to kind of run around and get dirty, but I thought there would be a time. So junior high was very hard for me, in the aspect that I was trying to like boys. I was trying to change my clothing to, at very best, be neutral and not seen as being boy clothes. Luckily, the 80s were sweatshirts and jeans. That was pretty cool for me. I never dressed up, never avoided dresses when I had to, like, unless I absolutely had to put them on. But I was also wanting to have a job where I worked with animals. In my brain, I went to teaching in my head because I love teaching I was a babysitter a lot. I started babysitting at like 9 or 10, all the way through my really high school years. And I thought I would be a teacher. What I realized was, in college, I didn't really enjoy being around children that much. Like, it was fine when I was younger and I was kind of playing with them. But as I became an adult, like older, I didn't want to do that. But I thought I would work with animals. I really wanted to be a writer for animals. I wanted to write for the Humane Society of the United States, like the bigger. I wanted to be a investigative reporter. I wanted to do all that to benefit animals. And I really wanted to work. I grew up with cats and dogs and horses, and I loved animals. Every chance I got, I would go to zoos. I would beg my dad to stop at roadside parks and zoos, and he would tell me, like, we're not going to, that's not a good place for animals. But I didn't understand that then, and he taught me, like, here's good zoos, here's bad places, here's what you don't want to see, here's what you want to see. And he helped me to understand that just because there's animals involved doesn't mean the people involved are doing the right thing. So I really wanted to help other people understand that, right? And I really wanted to work with animals. But I convinced myself, not only when I was younger, that I couldn't like girls and do boy things as a girl once I got older, that I could not make a living doing things I was passionate about, animals. So I always fostered dogs. I foster cats. I took in every stray animal growing up. We raised everything from baby bunnies that, like, the lawnmower ran over their nest, to chipmunks, squirrels, you name it. Very not safe, very not wildlife, but that's what we did in the 80s, because there really wasn't a resource. When you found a baby rabbit that still wasn't quite old enough, or, something, you would raise them and put them on their way. My dad had a pet crow because he found one that was injured. He raised it, and it eventually flew away. So that was all things I grew up with. I wasn't allowed to have cats in the house. Mom and Dad were like, no cats in the house. Dogs, yes, we always had 1 to 2 dogs. Dad always had a beagle when he could, and I had a little brown dog growing up named Puppy. But I absolutely loved animals. I loved my horses. And it's funny, because when I got older, one day I came home from college, and there was the 2 cats that had been barn cats. We're older at this point. We're in the house. I'm like, what's up? My dad's like, well, they're older now and they need to be in the house. I'm like, oh, great. I begged for, I don't know how many years to get the cats in the house. And they did have like a heated garage and a nice barn, all that. But in any case, I just wanted to say how grateful I am. Looking at that video yesterday, now my days are filled with animals. My house is filled with animals, probably too many. I know, I have way too many cats. I have like 14 cats. They do go in and out. I didn't really on purpose get any of them except my black cat, honestly. They just come around. I am very good about rehoming animals when at all possible, and that's kind of what I'm doing with the 2 kittens. They're stressing me out. The kittens are stressing me out. I'll admit it. I don't know for sure what I'm going to do as far as paying their vet bill. We still haven't got them to the vet because I don't have it in the budget right now, and they're really wild. They're scared. So I'm just sitting in there with them a little bit. So that is very stressful. My horse is stressing me out. She's acting like she needs maybe a little vet care. It's just one of those things. But my daily life, today I go to work with dogs all day, other people's dogs. I doggy daycare, we're an overnight boarding facility. And my boss there was the one that said to me, when I said, I can't make a living working with animals. And she's like, I do. And I'm like, oh yeah. And when I took this job, I didn't think I could. And I did. And I have the farm job. I get to work with Peter Rabbit. I get to work with the goats. I get to work with the guinea pigs. I get to work with the chickens, which we have chickens as well. And I get to do all the things, and they put trust in me, both at the dog job and the farm, to keep the animals healthy, happy, make suggestions on their enclosures, enrichment. They trust me with all that. I mean, the ducks, the running ducks, they're runner ducks. They got a brand new enclosure. The pigs will go down there. They got a brand new enclosure with all the things that I recommended, because I feel like I'm trusted with making the suggestions. It's what's right for the animal. I'm going to keep them happy and healthy, and what's making my life easier to keep them clean and in a good position. And I am so grateful for that. I did not go to college for animal science. I did not go to school. I took like one small animal class in high school. That was, we could take home ec, we could take shop, or we could take like small animal and large animal science. And I took the small and large animal science. That's what I did. So, and I think I had to have home ec in junior high, but whatever. I am just so grateful that I grew out of my I can't, I shouldn't, I don't, to I can, I am, I will, and I'm living it. I'm living the life that little Jippy, which is my nickname, wanted so bad, because other people kept supporting me in the fact that I have the knowledge, I have the empathy and the sympathy and the animal intelligence and intuitiveness to do the job, and I get paid for that. I get paid for that. I'm just so grateful. I am incredibly grateful, and I just wanted to put that out there.